I'm joined this morning by Nathan Corden from Toaster Racecourse. Nathan, up to the semi-finals of the Derby. How do you think it's gone so far?
I think the racing's been great. There's been some real quality performances out there. You get into the business end of the Derby now, and the cream of the crop really is showing through. They're going to be. It really is hard to pick in the semi-finals. The qualifiers really for the final. It really is top quality racing.
I think that there's a kind of line of thought, isn't there, that if we compare, they were the Nottingham champions and the top dogs at Nottingham, and they're the top dogs at Toaster, which kind of is a testament, I think, to both tracks that you're able to get the same quality greyhounds coming through.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Deerjet Sydney won. Not the ball. He was very unlucky in the semi-final. So those two are in the same sort of position now, both semi-finalists again. Quality always does show through.
Yeah, I believe that the stats are all, albeit again, are very very good for across the boxes. There's been a bit of a debate about Trap One. Do you think there's anything to it?
No, not really. I mean, look, listen, there's that great saying, there's lies, damn lies, and then the statistics. You can make stats look anything you want it to. Is it down to breeding as well? If you got the quicker away dogs elsewhere. Yes, there are some dogs that haven't sort of trapped from Trap One, but like on any track, they are the last to see the bunny coming by. Everything is about opinion. Everyone's going to have an opinion. We have our opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But, Deerjet Sydney had no problems the other week out of one. There's other dogs that don't have problems out of one. I've sort of been through this before at Nottingham, that you didn't want 1 or 6. Listen, we are where we are. The best dogs are there, and it is the same for everyone.
Yeah, very much so. I guess if you're going to be kind of pedantic or awkward about it, you go, well, of course, Trap One's always got an advantage because he hasn't got as far to run as the others. I mean,
and again, you can have that debate forever, and you'll always make an argument for one, you make an argument for the middle, you make an argument for the wide. Yeah. Or either an argument for or an argument against, and it is about opinions, and people will differ in opinions,
and we probably make a bit too much of it, don't we?
Possibly.
Okay. One of the big successes I think you can see behind me, my fantastic picture there from the Nasher, Emma Buckley with Deerjet Sydney. I gather we have a couple of people to thank for kind of getting it up and running. Is that right?
Yeah, certainly in terms of the graphics and things like that, David Mitchell and Christopher Michael, they've been helpful there. But we've also got Neil, who's our cameraman. He's typing everything into the computer as well. I think we've given him quite a few jobs to do, so I think he's doing it as fast as he can. So, but no, listen, it's nice to see up on the big screen.
Excellent. Now, other preparations. I know Kevin was originally hoping for pods and tents and all that kind of thing before the final. I gather after a long delay, at least we have some tents arriving. Is that right?
Yeah, the tents should be arriving this week. And again, it's just the old blocking of the Suez Canal knocked everything back, and it literally is that old saying, a slow boat from China. That they have come into the country, that they've got to be picked up, and they're due to arrive on I think Wednesday this week.
Yeah. I think just about everything as either reasons or excuses. We've had the Suez Canal, we've had Brexit, we've had whatever. I know I spoke to him last week. He was pulling his hair out about the pods as well. I think he was promised those.
Yeah. Look, I mean, everything has been very difficult. We are in a global pandemic. The place at Toaster here, we haven't really been open to the public until sort of last month. So it'd been closed for 3 or 4 years before that. You have to then go through the whole process of getting things working again. And you're starting from scratch with with staff, and I think that was apparent in the early sort of the first and second round heats. Obviously, we weren't fully staffed and things were slow, but I'd like to think over the last few weeks we've improved on things. People are getting used to it. Kevin's gone and bought a couple of bars, outdoor bars. There's more bench seating. So, you know, hopefully the experience for the customer has improved tremendously over the last few weeks. You know, we're still not in an ideal world because, you know, we've got to keep the trainers separate from owners and public. And that has its issues in itself, just logistical problems. Toast is such a huge site. Obviously, from my point of view, at Nottingham, it was very easy because it was a much smaller site and you could really sort of block off one area. Here is, you know, it's just huge. So it does prove problematic at time, but we'll get there.
Yes, I'm certain. So that there are no other developmental changes, anything that anybody needs to be aware of between semis and final?
No, not really. Another bar has been delivered, so that'll once again improve service. Yeah, we're just cracking on with trying to get everything ready for final night, really, and just making sure, you know, from my point of view, I want to put on the best possible card of the year, or maybe of the last few years. You know, we've got some very, very good dogs that have been knocked out. There's some very good competitions on over different distances. So, you know, we're really hopeful that the final night is a tremendous card.
Yes, of course. When is it the entries close to the other competitions?
Entries close 12 noon today, and they're going to be racing Friday and Saturday. So we've got an extra race meeting this Friday. So some of the heats will be this Friday, and the rest will be on Saturday. We couldn't do it all in one day, or would have had a 24 race meeting. And then we've got the Derby lunch on Monday next week, the 5th of July. So the supporter, I think there's 4 or 5 supporting one-off races for Derby final night, and they'll close at 12 noon on the Tuesday.
Wonderful, wonderful. Last thing, your Derby fancy?
I think I said from the very, very beginning, not the Bull Sid. I think the switch to the middle has really, really done him well. He's showing what he did at Nottingham last year, where he was bang, bang, bang out the traps. Even from 2 or 3 this year, he hasn't really done it. But once he's gone out wider, and I think he's developed himself as a dog. Obviously, he's won the big race at Shelburne, and he won that from 6. I think he's becoming a stronger dog. But he was so consistent trapping last year, and he's done that twice now, having moved to a middle seed, which I think has done him a world of good. And I did actually say from the outset as well, an each way bet would be Ballymac Fair one. So those 2 are still there, but it's going to be a very, very tough race, both semi-finals, and I still think it's very, very hard to call.